What's going on, guys? This is Naftastic. Rodney, you know me. I got a lot going on. Today was my grandmother's funeral, and she was put to rest, and so it's been a day, but I'm good. Family is good, and we all going to be okay, right? That's what we keep telling ourselves. So trying to be in good spirits. And I appreciate all the kind words and thoughtfulness and prayers. I really do. Thank you very much. What I have for you tonight, which is long awaited and long overdue, Jeremy. Thank you for being patient with me, brother. I really appreciate that. I actually have other things in the works too. I'm behind on everything. But what's in this package was a labor of love. It was a learning curve, and I've gone back and forth between what we were going to do to deciding to go ahead and do the original plan, and then back and forth of getting it just right and thinking I have it like I want it, and then noticing something else, and back and forth and back and forth. So my hands have been all over this, and I think it come out pretty good. Would I say that it's a masterpiece? Well, it's my masterpiece, but it might not be a masterpiece to everyone. But this is the first contour frag that I have done, which, while I put the pattern in with a machine and a fixture I have, a milling machine, the depths and perception and all that stuff is not right because I'm not in a 3D machine, CNC machine. I'm in a manual. So every move up and down, side to side, right to left, zigzag, whatever you're talking about, is done by hand, by me turning handles or pulling on cranks or whatever. So it's hard to get things uniform, and when it comes to machining, symmetry is everything. The flow of the way a line goes and moves is everything, especially in the eye of a knife beholder. Being a person who enjoys pocket knives, you look at the quality and the way it was built and what was done and why they did this and why they did that. So this was really hard to get it to where I felt happy with it. And thank the Lord, Jeremy, which is the owner of these knives in this package, was so understanding and worked with me and allowed me to have freedom and do my thing. Thank you, Jeremy. And this is your final knife. This will be going in the mail unless you tell me after watching this video you want something else done, which I'm fine with. This will be going in the mail tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday the 7th. Tomorrow is Friday the 8th. Today's the 7th. So there's two knives in here, and we're going to be doing an assembly on one of those. The first knife, which I've already seen in another video, is the Tucson TS273 Refier mod that I did. Okay, so that's that, and that's back together and done. Okay, so we have a Spyderco Bowie, and we have a whole bag of parts. I should have my little mat out here, but I don't. Get the blade out here. I got it all taped up. With screws everywhere. And washers and pivots. Alright, there is the blade. I put this black back through the blast cabinet again so I can get everything at a nice even finish, because with blasting, you know, depending on what you're doing, sometimes it varies from piece to piece, and I wanted to try to make sure all the colors were uniform, if that makes sense. And this sticker I got on here is sticking. But anyway, like I said, I wanted to run it through the blast cabinet and make sure. I should have had the sticker removed before I started the video. I wanted to make sure that everything was going to be matched. And you can see where the lock faces and the pivot area, the washer area, I did not blast. I wanted to keep them. That's a little bit of finger oil. But that's the blasted frame. If you can see the detail in the blast. My lighting in here, one of my lights broke. It's just not really good, so hopefully the colors are coming out. This is not a dark gray, but not a light gray. It's a little bit lighter than, I believe, Spyderco's factory wash. And there's the back spacer. For right now, we decided to leave that alone. Set that bag in here. We'll set all these screws here and the pivots. And so bear with me. It's late. It's been a long day. I've been up early. There's the clip. And the washers. Pivot. And all the hardware. Okay. Now, okay, are we ready? I wish I had brighter lights in here. Now this is a really shiny satin. You know, I would say it's reflective. It might not be quite mirror, but it's like a mirror polish on each one of the grooves and bevels. And depending on how you look at it and the light hits it, it reflects every facet. Trying to get a good detail of what it looks like. And this is the finished result. It's fairly what I would consider medium groove frag. It's not a real deep frag, but it's not a shallow frag. And it's a radiused frag. It's not a squared or V'd, which I do a couple different variants. And like I said, I put the basic pattern in with the machine in a fixture plate that I have. And then 80% of the work we're done with files like this. And a trusty little tool I made, a pin vise that I put different files in so I can get a real good handle on, and then another pin vise that I use. And I basically work with it back and forth and working the grooves. And a couple times what had happened was, as I was working it and trying to get, because I've been going back from a blast finish to the polished finish here in the bottom of the frags. I've been going back and forth and I would scuff it here or scuff it there, and trying to keep everything pristine. So I've been back and forth a few times on that, and then sometimes I realized that there was a slight haze in bottom of one of the grooves. I've just been nitpicking this thing to death, trying to make sure it's right, because I want him to be happy when he gets this in hand and just be like, wow. And I'm like, wow, this, I'm really pleased with it. It looks really good. It come out really nice. All right, so with that being said, let's get this back together. Okay. So we're going to take the tape off the blade. Get it past that tip. I don't want to get cut. Okay. Now, like I said, when I blasted the frames, I did tape off the pivot areas, so they're factory. Okay. So we're going to start with the back side because the holes are D-shaped. I don't know if you can see, but the holes here for the back spacers are D-shaped. So we're going to feed them in through that side. And doing this behind camera, y'all, so bear with me. I'm at 12 minutes already. I might have to piece these together. All I'm doing is sliding those in there like that. One more. Okay. And I'll put the clip on last. That way it's not in the way. Because if else, when I turn it upside down and flip it, it won't sit right. Okay, there's the screws in there. I can hold them so they don't fall out. And it fell out. Another thing to talk about is, y'all, can you believe it? I made it past 1,000 subs. I hit the 1K, right? And they keep falling out. I made it past 1K. So what do I do now? I got to do a giveaway, I guess, right? So what do I give away? Well, I have a few things to possibly give away. And we'll see in the next couple of days what I can come up with to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit, this is KPL. I got to get some gunny lube. I want to try it out. One of my critters bit into my bottle. I'm just going to put one dot right there. And put a washer. On that baby. And put a dot there. Then we'll take this blade. We got the pivot pin. And if y'all want to zoom in, feel free to zoom in. And I'm sort of off camera, but I got to keep it off camera to an angle so I can see what I'm doing. My camera setup is, you know, I'm not a YouTube professional, so this is all new to me. Now, one more dot of oil on the blade. Just enough to give it a little bit of spin so it's nice and fluid. And another washer, because you don't want too much oil seeping around this. Okay. Now this is a 10mm pivot. I believe that's what it is. It's been a while since I took it apart. Let me get the right one. Okay, and a 6. And these screws are tiny. And my pivot fell out. Or my backspacer screw. And actually, you know what? I forgot. One of these is longer. And I gotta make sure I put it in the back. And I think that's this one here. Yep. Yep. See the difference in the screw lengths in the standoff spacer screws? Can you see this longer one right here? I don't know if you can zoom in on it. It's longer. And it goes to the back. There we go. Now somebody had asked me why I didn't do the back. And I reckon I could. It might have been about the Bowie that the Spidey Chef that I was doing, that they were interested. Somebody had seen the Spidey Chef I did and commented about doing both sides. And I could, but it would interfere with the lock bar and it'd be a challenge. But I believe it's doable. I believe this is doable, but I'd have to be careful because I wouldn't want it to change and take away from the function and how the integrity of the frame lock worked, depending on how much material Now what I am going to do is I'm going to add just a smidgen of Loctite to the screw. Just a little bit. And this is non-permanent, oil tolerant by a company called Vibratite. And I really like this. A little bit goes a long way. It doesn't take much. Just a little dab. Just enough to get it to seat. And I dropped it. And I need to wipe that up before I put the knife in it. Okay. Make sure I don't have that on my fingertips. And once we get this seated, I'll get it set to where the action is right. And let me wipe that up. I need to do something with my board, guys. I need to wipe this down. I got a little bit of... Forgive me, I'm being quiet. I'm used to doing assemblies and take-aparts and all that stuff on my own without filming a lot because I'm just thinking in my head. Okay, I had to restart, but we'll just add it. All right. There goes the FRAGGED Spyderco Swish Bowie. Am I saying that right? Swish. Swish. Right down the center. Blade in. One of my buddies at work said, you know what would be cool is to have the flats polished and have the grooves stonewashed. That would be a different touch, but it would be a scratch magnet on the top, which is what we're trying to stay away from. We got a little bit of a coarser finish, so hopefully it won't snail trail bad. And then we got the polished grooving, mirrored with the standard blast finish on the rear scale. All right, 2 more screws and we are done. So we have the long screw for the clip and the short screw for the front. And what do you know? We don't have any leftover screws. So that means we did something right? Make it a little funny. And Spyderco screws are hard to get in sometimes. I don't have my little wrench thing here today. We'll flip that over and put the clip. Now this is has always been a pain to put in because the screw falls out, you try to get it lined up, and you try to hold the clip, and it slips and slides everywhere, and it's just a nightmare. So I found out that if you grab the clip with the screw and lay it in the hole, so to speak, if I can do this the first time, I'll be amazed, because I never get it the first time. What do you know? First time. Well, I reckon there is an angel of mercy out there somewhere. Okay, clip on. Frag complete, Mr. Jeremy, Brother Jeremy. Centering is right down the hatch, centered up nice. Action is good, nice and fluid. No blade play. No detent lash. Very nicely done Spyderco in the new Naftastic frag pattern. Done by none other than me, Naftastic. I'm Rodney. Thanks for taking the time to stop by and look and watch and listen at the 2 completed mods for Mr. Jeremy that will be going in the mail tomorrow. Stay tuned. I will be doing a show and tell on another mod I did. Still have to do the sharpening on this one. I did a bronzed out and micarta inlay and backspacer on the Tucson TS273. I got to get that done and back to him. I modded a Tucson TS201. I took the high spots off the carbon fiber and took the shininess off of them and gave it a satin, and then I did a sort of a royal blue instead of the light blue on this Tucson. Come out really nice. I like that harpoon blade. Feels really good in hand. It turned a knife that I was getting rid of into a keeper. And I have a TS38 that I fragged that I will be doing a dye job on and then selling. And Jeremy, I've been having this in the pocket. I've been carrying it a little bit. I really like the talk. It's very nice. Thank you for the gift, brother. I really, really appreciate it. This was just so awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, y'all. This is Naftastic. Rodney, you know me. And again, I hit 1K subs, and I had a eBayer that I buy from send me a knife, and it's going to be used in a giveaway. This is the 6 leaf. Still got all the oils on it. It's new. It's only been pulled out, but it's done in like a micarta, a basket weave kind of micarta. It has the Tucson deep carry clip. Tucson's probably makes these, I'm guessing. I don't know. It's 6 leaf. And I believe the blade steel is D2. And Rattlesnake is the designer. He's one of the designers for Tucson also. And this will be going up in a giveaway very soon, along with 2 or 3 other items, a knife, a few things that my brother Winchester graciously gave me that I'm going to be using for a giveaway. So everything's good. Please stay tuned and go check out the other channels, because I'm off the wall. There's room for more. Go check out everyone on the channel on the under the 1K wall. And I want to do a big shout out and a big thank you to everyone in the community who helped me get past this mark. My subscribers, the other channels, my friends, my knife brothers and sisters. I really appreciate it. And a big shout out to John over at Grateful Panic Knife Reviews, and Rodney at RJ's Knives, and Gary Last Ranger. Thank you guys so much for the little things y'all did extra. I really, really appreciate that. That means a lot. And if someone else did something, I haven't been really watching a lot of YouTube. If someone else did this or did that or did whatever, shared, linked, Big Worm, Jeremy, you know who you are. Thank you. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks for getting the word out, guys. I finally did it. I'm over 1K. It's hard to believe. You know, I'm somebody now. Nah, I was somebody before. All right, y'all. Well, on to bigger and better things, right? This is Naftastic with Naftastic Knives and Naftastic Mods. As my buddy Rhino54 says, that's fragtastic. I think it's Rhino. I know I've had a couple different comments. I'm trying to remember, I probably messed that up. But whoever said about fragtastic, it might have been Mike MC Harris, the one I'm doing the mod for on the 273 in the red micarta, or the burgundy micarta. I think he said I need to change my name from Naftastic to Fragtastic. And then Rhino makes comments about my Fragtastic mods. So anyway, it's late, it's rambling, and I gotta go to bed. Let me know what you think, guys. It's pretty much the same as the last video, except it doesn't have any scratch or haze to it, and it's got a fresh blast on it and then fresh polish. And I did things a little bit differently to ensure that I would not get things scratched, which is really tough. It doesn't take much for one of these little files to slip out of the groove and scuff one little square, and then you either got to blast that square or blast the whole thing. And I have gone back and forth with this thing, but I am really happy with it, and I think Jeremy will be too. Thanks, guys. Talk to y'all later. Bye. God bless, and remember, Jesus loves you, and I do too.